Was Napoleon really French? Was there ever a war in which no one died? Did you know that there are some surprising historical facts you've never heard or seen before? In 1774, Frederick the Great of Prussia instituted a policy of free potatoes to help the population overcome famine. Admittedly, it's not extraordinary to eat French fries every day, but at least the man had sort of an idea to keep his people from starving, and we can respect him for that. But after the announcement, the people refused to eat the potatoes. So, to make them want to eat them, he came up with an idea that was very avant-garde for the time. He had guards pretending to patrol the potato fields to make them seem more valuable to the people. Except that the marketing stunt worked and everyone decided to eat them, when in fact they were totally free. Simo Aya was a Finnish soldier known for his incredible marksmanship. He recorded a record 505 confirmed kills in just 100 days during the Winter War of 1939. Nicknamed the White Death for his ability to blend into the snow, he single-handedly helped defend his country against the invading Soviet Union. Aya's legendary exploits continue to amaze to this day, making him a true hero and legend in Finnish history. His extraordinary talent and determination have inspired many to strive for greatness. The Great Pig War, also known as the San Juan Frontier War, between the United States and the United Kingdom/Canada, lasted a full 7 years. At the height of the war, the order of battle included 2,600 ground troops, 5 mighty ships of the line and nearly 100 cannons. But fortunately, the combatants never had to fight. In fact, the only casualty recorded was a Royal Marine hit in the eye by a stone thrown from the American trenches. Transported to a nearby military hospital, he recovered and eventually rejoined his unit. Most of the energy of the opposing troops was spent crossing the lines to each other's outposts to play cards, swap stories and barter American tobacco and fresh food for naval runs stolen from British commissariat warehouses. And what started this war? Well, a pig. An American soldier found it amusing to shoot a poor pig who hadn't asked anyone for anything, and as a result, the two countries came close to committing the irreparable. Do you know how good old Jack died? Jack Daniel, yes, the same one you're thinking of. He died of an infection caused by a toast tub to a safe containing money whose combination he'd forgotten. Once upon a time, in the beautiful city of Kiev, there lived a woman named Olga. She was married to Prince Igor, a cruel and ambitious man who cared only about his own wealth and power. Olga, on the other hand, was a strong, intelligent woman. One day, while Igor was away on an expedition, he was captured and killed by a group of warriors. When Olga heard the news, she was devastated, but determined to take revenge on those who had dared to attack her husband. So, she went to the camp of the warriors responsible for her husband's death. But instead of seeking immediate revenge, Olga showed her tact and cunning. She told them she accepted their offer of peace and wished to meet them to negotiate a treaty. The warriors, reassured by Olga's words, accepted her invitation and went to the Kiev palace. But Olga had other plans. She had actually organized a great feast in honor of the warriors and had given them more than enough to drink. When they were all drunk, Olga ordered her soldiers to kill them all, a bit like God's version of the Red Wedding. Then, when she'd killed most of the leaders, the rest of the warriors and people left to take refuge in another town a little further away. Then, she had another idea. She asked each inhabitant to give her 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows, as a token of forgiveness. Although her request was surprising, the citizens complied. When the birds had been received, Olga told her men to tie paper and sulfur to each bird, light them and release them. As all the birds naturally returned to their homes, the rescue town caught fire and all its inhabitants either perished in the flames or became slaves. Do you know what's the most incredible thing about this story? After all her crimes, Olga became a saint after being canonized by the church for spreading Christianity in Europe. Fidel Castro was a great lover of milk. It was his favorite drink to accompany all his cigars. But his love of milk didn't stop there. He would do anything for his beloved cow, Ubre Blanca, who was more than just a cow. She was a competition cow, world champion in all categories for her milk production in a single day, according to him. But when poor Ubre Blanca gave up the ghost, Fidel couldn't just mourn, no, of course. He decided to immortalize her. By having her stuffed, erecting a marble statue and dedicating a eulogy worthy of a head of state and an obituary in his national newspaper. He has gone down in history as one of the most famous Frenchmen, but the truth is that Napoleon Bonaparte was almost never French. The island of Corsica belonged to Genoa, but the Treaty of Versailles, signed between the Republic and the Kingdom of France, annexed it to French territory. This happened on May 15, 1768, exactly 15 months before Napoleon was born. Somewhat embarrassed by his non-Gallic origins, Napoleon changed his Italian surname from Bonaparte to Bonaparte. While turkey is a very common food today, in 300 before Christ, these large birds were considered by the Maya to be vessels of the gods and were honored as such, so much so that they were domesticated to play a role in religious rites. Did you know that in the early 1830s, the hot trend in popular medicine was ketchup, the famous tomato-based red condiment? A daring Ohio doctor named John Cook even sold it as a miracle cure for indigestion, and guess what? It worked. But it wasn't until the late 19th century that ketchup was finally recognized for its meal-saving talent and became an essential condiment in every kitchen. So the next time you run out of ibuprofen, don't hesitate to turn to a good dose of ketchup. Who knows, maybe it will work just as well for you as it did for 19th century ancestors. Imagine a mysterious document, a real puzzle for the most eminent scientific minds. This document, known as the Voic manuscript, remains elusive despite numerous attempts to uncover it. And with good reason. It is handwritten in a language that defies logic and has been estimated to date from a time when quill pens and sharp parchment were still in use. Experts in ciphers and codes have been tackling this enigma for centuries, but the mystery continues to elude them. There is no doubt about it. The Voic manuscript is a real challenge that resists all attempts to decipher it. The famous Prohibition in the United States. What memories! You know, back then the American government was really annoyed because, despite the ban on alcohol, people were still drinking it. Well, they weren't going to let that happen, were they? So they came up with a rather radical idea: poison alcohol. Alcohol had become a deadly poison to dissuade the rebels from drinking. But apparently, that wasn't enough, you see. The authorities were so frustrated by the resistance to prohibition that they decided to take it to the next level: death. And not just any way. They ordered the poisoning of industrial alcohol produced on their own territory. Where's the logic in that, you ask? Well, it seems to be to prevent bootleggers from continuing to still officially ban alcohol. But at what price? It is estimated that over 10,000 people lost their lives to the federal poisoning program at the end of Prohibition in 1933. Well, let's raise a glass to those bygone days. I hope you enjoyed this video, even if it's different from what I usually offer. Let me know in the comments if you liked it or if you prefer other types of videos that I'm doing or I'm making. Let me know in the comments. I will be happy to read you. And in any case, see you next Friday on this same channel. Bye bye!